The economy has been in shambles for some time now. But there is one thing I didn't realize until now is how are people surviving off of unemployment in this economy? So for me, I'm a dude that doesn't really like to file for unemployment because one, I never really had a situation where I could, and two, like unemployment takes a very long time I hear, and it blows my mind because I asked a few people that had experienced unemployment, and during COVID, it paid like 600 bucks a week when a lot of people were staying home, but now unemployment is actually a bit lower than what it was, and it's kind of fucking crazy. Apparently, my buddy was telling me that unemployment was gonna get him only 300 bucks a month because what happened was he got laid off at his job and he doesn't know how long it'll be until he gets his next one, but holy fuck, dude, $300 a week is actually a crime because yes, it may be better than no money at all, but bro, $300 a week is barely anything. Like for me, that's not even like 20 bucks a week at work. Like I don't know how the fuck you can live off that, especially in this situation. And it's not just like how much you're getting in unemployment, is like it's also how much like people are living off the government themselves too. Like I don't understand how people are living so little off the government. Like it sounds absolutely insane. Like disability money isn't very much. It's about 900 to a grand here in Missouri. Also, like other things too, like food stamps. Like food stamps, you actually get quite a bit, but it really does depend on your income. Like some people still don't get enough to fucking survive off food with food stamps. And it's crazy because like I know some people who get like 30 to 50 bucks on food stamps if they're working part-time because their job's not giving them more hours, or there's some that won't even give them any type of food stamp qualifications because they make a certain amount, but everything's just so damn expensive. Now, food stamps really isn't that big of an issue for most hardworking Americans, but I will say is that sometimes when things get expensive, I guess your best bet is to go to the food pantry because, I've been there a few times and it wasn't that bad. I actually prefer it over food stamps, but man, there's some people who abuse that shit too. To anyone who is currently living off of unemployment right now, my question to you is, are you guys okay? Because there's a lot of people who cannot afford just to wait around to get unemployment, or they just can't have a lot of money saved because of the situation because they're financially struggling because some people don't have that cushion. I've been guilty of this situation where I didn't really have cushion or anything like that. I remember the brokest I've ever been one time was I had like negative 13 bucks one time, and that was a couple years ago. It was a really bad situation. That did fucking suck too. I did get a different job because the job market wasn't bad, but bro, that was horrible. Like that was like some of the worst like type of stress I've ever dealt with in my life because even though the rent was paid, I legit didn't have anything to fucking eat. But the coolest part is I did have a worker that came in and gave me a bunch of free food because he felt really bad. And I wasn't even asking for help. He was like, "Hey man, you want to get some food?" And I just kind of told him what happened a little bit and what was going on. But yeah, it's kind of crazy how kind people are too sometimes. You just got to find the right people, and sometimes, man, a little bit of kindness just goes a long way. Another crazy perspective with unemployment too is that, like, I remember during 2020 that I was working at the grocery store as a essential worker, right? I was very essential at the time, and it sucked because like there's a lot of people who were just working in factory work, warehouse work, and a lot of them actually got fucking unemployment and got more money than me, which is fucking insane to think about. Now at the time I did need the job. It was just the timing of it was pretty bad when I first moved back to Missouri because at that time COVID was already ramping really bad, so I just needed something. But bro, that fucking sucked. I ain't gonna lie. Looking back, I'm like, you are lucky as fuck. But at the same time, it wasn't that bad because I was unemployed for a good while because I was living in Florida. And before even everything ramped up with COVID back then at Florida, unemployment was pretty high in that state. And it was really hard to get a fucking job over there because the competition inside that state was ridiculous. Like, it was like basically what the job market was now times 10. And it wasn't even like a severe, severe like crisis for jobs or nothing. It was just that bad to find something, even entry level or part time. I remember competing with Publix. I had to compete with fucking Walmart too, just to get like a part time gig. Looking back, it was kind of insane how hard it was to truly get a job in Florida before even everything went to hell. Like, man, DoorDash or any of the gig economy apps at the time I really didn't even know of. A lot of those were just kind of getting started or they just didn't exist. Like, a lot of the DoorDash apps and everything started in 2019. Now, if I were to know about it back then, maybe things would be different. But yeah, I was definitely in that old school job searching mode. And not just me, but my family had a hard time too when I was living with them during to find a fucking job in Florida. And I thought they were kind of stupid at the time because, none of them came prepared. And they didn't even have a job when they first moved over to the state. And I thought that was dumb too. And honestly, if you're going to move over to an expensive state or a very job competitive state, bro, always have something lined up, at least ready. I don't know why my family did it like that, but fuck, at least things worked out for them. But I would never go that route. At least I would have something, like something on your phone or something, or temp agencies if you need it. Also, another thing too about the unemployment is like the government is also shut down, by the way, and I'll probably make a video about that eventually. But man, the government, like, how are they gonna give people their unemployment money if like the government employees are getting laid off and they're shut down? I kind of realized that too. It's like, bro, how is my buddy getting anything? Because it's stupid how fucking the whole thing with the government shutting down is going on. But man, it is kind of bizarre to think about, and I'm not that surprised with things have went this year around the world. I'm also kind of surprised we still have unemployment right now because the government this year has taken a lot of things away and funded a bunch of shit, especially the education department, which is kind of wild. But like, I don't know, like what's the future going to be for unemployment soon? I feel like right now we'll have it, but I would not be surprised if they'd like take more money away because they already did take a bit away after COVID. And now like they're gonna be like, yeah, they're making too much money with unemployment, so we're gonna make it like 250 to $200 a week. That shit's crazy. And they have like the part-time unemployment too. And that's like maybe 150 if you're lucky. Honestly, the main reason why I never filed for unemployment too is that I also never got fired at a job. I know it sounds crazy, but I never legit like got terminated by a real job. The closest thing, like I said, I've gotten close to being fired from anything is being let go from a fucking, temp jobs and stuff where they just ghost you and block you on the app. That's it. They don't have to tell you anything. It's like you wake up the next day and you're blocked. It's kind of wild. It's funny as fuck if you think about it, but it's really petty too. And it's for like small things too. Like you could just work one day, everything would be okay, and then somehow you still get blocked or fired or let go. It's just kind of weird how it works on there. I don't understand it. They definitely treat people like numbers on that fucking thing. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll get fired, but for right now, dude, like my reputation at all my jobs I had were actually pretty respectable. They weren't like the worst things in the world, but it definitely wasn't bad. Like there's some people who got terrible reputations at work, but I've really never gotten close to getting fired either. I just got fed up with the job usually after a couple of years and just went somewhere else. That's just because, that's how I am. A lot of it too is just boredom. Also, if I were to even try to file for unemployment, I feel like I would either get rejected or get very little because, they'll see that I have YouTube as a side hobby, right? Or as a side income. And they're going to be like, oh yeah, this dude don't need money at all. What do you mean he's working? Blah, blah, blah. So they'll give me like probably like $25 a week, which is probably like the equivalent of like a weekly allowance or something. It's probably going to fill up gas tank in my car. Ooh. Maybe some food, but fuck, it's kind of funny. I ain't gonna lie. The last thing I do kind of want to say is maybe it is important for the government to open back up so people can get their unemployment a little bit faster. Because right now, dude, apparently a lot of people are waiting on the unemployment line. And it does take forever, I hear. I also hear that they're very strict on like the opening times. You have to wake up early just to file for it online. Then I hear you have to talk to them on the phone to make sure. And there's a bunch of other steps too. It's kind of like adulting in a nutshell. Or it's like the online version of the DMV, except you don't have to do it if you don't want to, type of thing. Anyways, that's all I gotta say about today's topic. Do you guys think that, unemployment rates are going to get lower in the future? Or maybe the government might open up in the next couple weeks? Also, if you're at home right now on unemployment, bro, you better get your ass to work. I hear you, alright? You better do it. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace out.